Alright, you guys know the drill. Always check to see how the audio's doing before we get started. Alright, well the audio sounds very good. Hey, what's up guys? It's your boy Malin Relich coming at you with another Madden 21 live stream. Pre-Thanksgiving Eve. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I know technically it's tomorrow, but just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Just want to do a kind of a simple, live stream. And I'm going to play both of the Thanksgiving Day matchups. Now, I would say 3, but today the news broke that the Steelers and Ravens game is not going to be played tomorrow because of positive COVID-19 cases. Hey, it's the world we live in. It's the times that we're in, and those kind of things are going to happen, and we've already seen that with the NFL schedule being altered in so many ways. So both of the games tomorrow, we got the Texans against the Detroit Lions, and the Washington football team playing against my Dallas Cowboys, who are fresh off of a win this past Sunday over the Vikings. Really was a crazy win. I had to work on that day, so I didn't get really a chance to watch the full highlights, but I did see the final minute of the game, and I did see the way they won it before I left. So, yeah, it was a big win, and now they got to do a quick turnaround. Also in the midst of their conditioning coach passing away. Rest in peace, prayers with the family of him. So they got a matchup tomorrow for first place in the NFC East at 3-7 with both teams at 3-7. Oh my goodness, wow. It's crazy how bad the NFC East has been this year. This probably will go down as the worst division in NFL history, considering the fact that a team can win 6 games and win the division. It's that bad. But we'll see how all that goes at the end of it. So it's wide open. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Just want to kind of talk a little bit. Hopefully you're spending time with your family if you get a chance to spend time with them this Thanksgiving holiday. I'm one of those few that can't. I'll be at work tomorrow at the station. I do have today off, and I have yesterday off because now I was supposed to work yesterday, but one of our other employees he wanted to be off on Saturday, so he worked yesterday in order to make up that day, so that way he could be off and he could get his hours in and everything like that. So kind of a very interesting week for me, and it looks like once again my work schedules are going to be altered a little bit. So it looks like for the next couple of weeks coming up, I might have Sundays off, which will be very nice. So that way I can watch Dallas disappoint me like they have really for most of this season. But just kind of that's kind of a little bit of what's going on at work. A lot of good things. Tomorrow will probably be a very good day. I worked at the station last year on Thanksgiving Day and Christmas, and it was very light. Management's gone, so it's kind of we show up to do work, and that's really it. And it's really pretty good. And we only got all 3 of our new Channel 10 shows to worry about, so that's always nice to just have that. And by the way, if you guys want to, a couple of days ago I uploaded a video of my favorite high school football highlights I shot this season. It's about a 4.5-minute video. It's just a compilation of some of my favorite plays that I shot this year while going out and shooting football on Friday nights. It was another great, successful season. Despite the fact everybody had to be masked up, it still felt like pretty normal out there. It felt normal to be out there shooting, so it was a privilege, and I definitely thank my station for allowing me to still be out there to shoot football for our sportscast and also our football wrap-up show. So I'm going to stop delaying, and I'm going to get into our first Thanksgiving Day game. So we're going to have, we got the Houston Texans taking on the Detroit Lions. Texans, they've had a very tough year. Although Deshaun Watson has actually played pretty well this season. J.J. Watt, there's all the rumors about he wants out of Houston. He doesn't want to be there anymore and all that kind of stuff. I did pick up actually Marvin Jones Jr. from my fantasy team, and he's actually been doing pretty well. Kenny Golladay, of course, is still there. The Detroit Lions, once again, they are being the Lions. Just once again a year where they have some decent expectations, but nothing really clicking for them. So I'm kind of torn who I want to be. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and play as the Texans in this one. They have the lower overall rating, so I'm going to go ahead and go with that. I don't know if the Lions, do they have alternate, like, Thanksgiving uniforms? I think I've seen them, like, wear, not the Color Rush. Yeah, current alternate classic. I'm gonna put those on them. Because I feel like, you know, during Thanksgiving Day, the Lions always wear like the throwback uniforms. Now, Dallas used to wear the 1960s vintage uniforms and everything, but they got rid of that because of a new rule in the NFL where, because with those uniforms, the last time they wore them on Thanksgiving Day was in 2012 when they lost to RG3 and the Redskins at the time. They wore white helmets with them, and those are different helmets. And the rules are this year that you have to be wearing this. You have to have the same helmet for your team and your player every year. So, for example, like the Green Bay Packers have like these like classic old school. You can't even see like there's no color to the uniforms, but it's the same helmets they have with the big G on them. They just take the G off. Kind of like with the Lions here, like they can wear, like they're allowed to wear these uniforms because those are like the same jerseys and everything and the same helmet. They just take the logos off and they have like just the classic, Bobby Lane vintage look and everything like that. It's a little bit disappointing that I can't see Dallas wearing those uniforms anymore, those classic ones, because I've always liked those. I thought they were really cool. And plus on Thanksgiving Day, it's, you know, pretty unique. It almost feels like on Thanksgiving Day that not only are there great, like, moments that happen in the NFL on that day, but, you know, there's also a chance where guys can really make a name for themselves and stuff like that. Like, I've been really religious about watching my Cowboys play on Thanksgiving Day. Last year my station was at the CBS affiliate. We had the luxury, or the dissatisfaction of having them play on Thanksgiving on CBS against the Buffalo Bills, and that was an absolute blowout. I'll never forget, Cole Beasley just went berserk in that game, and he was catching everything after we let him go. That was not a very fun Thanksgiving, but fortunately I was busy with work and stuff, and I was actually at work, so that was able to pretty much distract me from that, so that was good. Yeah. And since I've moved here for the new job, I haven't been home once. I haven't been home to see my family during Thanksgiving, but I am going to be traveling home in the middle of next month. Kiki QT, make that catch. There you go. Former Texas Tech Red Raider there. I might try to give him the ball a little bit here. Try to get him involved a little bit here. I'll tell you what, QT hasn't really had like a whole lot of big plays since he's been with the Texans, but yeah, I'm going to alternate this to PA. Play action here. Let's see if we can get the tight end, Allen, coming out right there. Oh, but we take a huge sack right there. Deshaun Watson, yeah, that was probably a bad audible right there because there was nobody blocking on the left side. Nobody to protect Deshaun. Yeah, but I'm going to go home in the middle of next month. So basically, like, I almost threw a pick right there. Oh, that was a terrible throw. I did not see that defensive back getting ready to count. So I'm going to be going home like early to celebrate Christmas, just because being a second-year employee at my current station, we're a small market, and holiday hours and getting off on holidays are hard to come by for really anybody, even if you have like the most experience working there, working in this business. I mean, some people can, but you know, management and everybody like that, like some can, but others can't. So I'm going to be there tomorrow. Probably running the audio booth, which is fun. The only thing about running audio that's a little bit tough is that you do it in a room and you're all by yourself with the board and the computers and stuff, and you're kind of isolated from everybody, which during these times is not the worst thing, but you know, I still like to get out of the booth and walk around if I'm not doing anything audio-wise, and you know, talk to people, interact with people, and there's going to be time to do that tomorrow. I mean, come on, it's a holiday, you know, everybody's going to kind of be in a good mood and stuff, yeah, we're working, but hey, you know, at least, you know, it's better to be spending a holiday even if you're working with people than to be all by yourself and not be able to, you know, do anything. And then again, I know that during these times, everybody's really discouraged from traveling and stuff like that. So I'll tell you guys a quick story about something that kind of got me a little bit on the edge, but my dad kind of taught me through it a little bit on Friday. So, like I told y'all, I'm scheduled to go home in the middle of next month, and I'm going to be off and I'm going to take 5 days off total, 5 days of PTO. They alternated my schedule a little bit, so I have the weekend off with no PTO. That's just going to be my off days. They're going to alternate my schedule during that, which is fine. But the thing was that I was planning to fly from Amarillo to San Antonio because, number one, it was going to be way quicker, and number two, I like, flying sometimes instead of driving, because the drive from Lubbock back home to San Antonio was like 8.5 hours on its own. So now I'm going to be adding, about another hour and a half to the trip, driving from Amarillo all the way down to San Antonio in a car that comes when I go home for Christmas. Well, when I go home in December, is basically going to be replaced. My dad and I have talked, and I'm going to be getting a new car. I have an idea of what it's going to be, but I kind of know that, I just know that that's coming. So therefore, it was kind of like my dad was encouraging me, hey, just go ahead and drive, because you're going to need because we're going to get you a new car. I think it's that time, and you're going to be driving back in that new car up to Amarillo. So the last thing we want is for you to be, flying, so that way the car's stuck here and you can't get back. And stuff like that. But that's not the part. But you might think, why is that upsetting? Why is that something that gets you a little heated? Well, there's a new policy that my company, that corporate has instilled in us during these times. And I understand that we're in the middle of a pandemic, but it's not what we have to do, it's the way that it was communicated, not just to me, but everybody who works there. Cool, we make that catch. I thought Fuller dropped that for a second, but he caught it. So if you are even flying in the state of Texas on an airplane, you're required to quarantine for 72 hours. But here's the catch. You have to factor that into your PTO. And me being a second-year employee who doesn't have a whole lot of PTO accumulated, I basically burned it all for taking this whole week off that I have coming up in December. And I made the arrangement for the flight, I booked everything, and then 2 or 3 days later, we had a meeting where they basically said, okay, so, even if you fly in the state, you have to quarantine for 72 hours, and that has to be factored in as your PTO. There's no, COVID pay or anything like that. I couldn't afford to do that because I already booked the flight to come back at the end of my vacation and take no quarantine. So basically now, I called my dad about it last Friday and said, hey, listen, I'm going to have to make some major change my travel. And he actually understood that because his workplace, his bank has a similar thing. And I understand the thing that we're in, but what got me heated about it is that it wasn't brought to the forefront until after not only me, but several other reporters and other production people, basically everybody who was planning to take time off during the holidays. They had to reschedule their flights. They had to reschedule this, that, and the other. And during this pandemic, because there's not a whole lot of flights to go around, because, I think, airplane travel is being, lightened up and shortened and everything like that. I mean, you got to allow distance between the seats. You can't have two people sitting right next to each other. There's got to be a space in between them and stuff like that. Because I've already flown once during the pandemic, and it was in June. And I came back to work, the next day. So, after I got back. So, it's kind of like, you mean this policy wasn't in place before, and now all of a sudden we got to follow it? And more importantly, it was just a lack of communication. And that's the biggest thing that always ticks me off. I got to know what I'm supposed to do. I got to know what I'm supposed to request, how I'm supposed to request it off, and this, that, and the other. And those are the things that really get me ticked off. And I wasn't the only one who shared disdain for it. Our primetime anchor, she was just as heated about it as I was. As we get a good touchdown right there with Will Fuller. Ran a good slant route right there.
Texans have taken the lead.
Got quite a few friends who were Texans fans. You know, people have, encouraged me, why don't you just switch and be a Texans fan? And I'm like, I never want to be labeled as a bandwagon. That's the worst label you can have as a sports fan. Patrick Mahomes is probably my favorite player in the NFL. Because he went to Tech and he's having success, he's won a Super Bowl, and he's fun to watch. He's an electrifying guy. And I actually have a red Kansas City Chiefs Mahomes jersey. And I was so happy when they won the Super Bowl last year. But the Kansas City Chiefs are not my team. My favorite player in the NFL, just right now, one of them, other than Zeke, happens to be, Patrick Mahomes, because he played for Tech, and he's one of the most successful quarterbacks in the league, and he's played for Tech. A lot of guys play for Tech and they haven't been very successful in the league. At least, to the level that Mahomes has, to win the Super Bowl, and been a big part of the Super Bowl winning team. So yeah, but I'm not a Chiefs fan. I like watching them. As we get a pick right there, I don't know what that pass was about, what Stafford threw. It was way over the guy's shoulder, and 50 came up and made a big play right there. That was a great interception.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to
I don't know what Stafford was thinking on that throw.
Not his best ball, and I think he knew this was.
I don't know how you guys feel about Stafford, but I think he's overrated as a quarterback. Yeah, I mean, the reason that Stafford was better early in his career is because he had Megatron. And once Megatron retired, yeah, Matthew Stafford was still able to, pump out some good stats and be a decent quarterback for the Lions when they really haven't had a good one since he came. Like one that's capable of playing at a Pro Bowl level or playing at a respectable level. But he's just not, he's not electric anymore. Now then again, he's been hurt this season, which definitely is bad news. But, he's not the same. And I threw a pick with Sean Watson there. I should have known better than to throw that ball. Anyway. So, yeah. I don't know, that's how I feel about Stafford. And I know he's a Texas kid, played at Highland Park, where Bobby Lane also is from. So they talked about trying to exercise the Bobby Lane curse by drafting Matthew Stafford, and they talked about it in one of those NFL Network top 10 football curses, one of those top NFL Network top 10 shows. I think it was called, top 10 football curses. It was like the #1 curse. I mean, it makes sense because the Lions still haven't broken it. But some of those curses in there have been broken. Like, they had the curse of Billy Penn, which was cursing the Eagles. But that curse has been lifted because the Eagles won the Super Bowl 3 years ago. I mean, I know they've fallen far from grace. I guess J.J. Watt was in on that tackle. That's another one of my favorite players in the league. J.J. Watt, just, not only is he a dominant defensive lineman, I think he still is despite the injuries and everything like that, but he still could be a game-changing type of player. And, I don't know what his future is in Houston, but I wouldn't be surprised if after this offseason if he decides to say to the Texans, hey, y'all got to trade me. I'm tired of losing here. I mean, Bill O'Brien just gutted a team that was close to beating the Chiefs last year and disrupting the Super Bowl run. I mean, seriously, they were up, I think, maybe 20-7 or something, and then they blow it after they called that stupid fake punt or something. You basically opened the door, told Mahomes, go win it. We don't want this game anymore. He was drilled right there. Couldn't catch that ball. And then they fire Bill O'Brien in the middle of the season. And that's a good thing, because I've never liked Bill O'Brien. He just seems like a stern guy who really just sometimes struggles to communicate well with his players as a coach. And you can't be like that if you want to be successful with your team. And I mean, they traded DeAndre Hopkins for David injury-prone Johnson. And that's with Bill O'Brien acting as the general manager, he's made some awful decisions in terms of building the team. He let Jadeveon Clowney be traded to We traded Jadeveon Clowney to the Seahawks. Really broke up that defensive front. I mean, they really broke it up. I mean, they had a decent one because at one time they had Watt, Mario Williams, Marcellus. I think they had like all of those guys. And then they just like traded him and gutted him, and now they're just left with J.J. Watt, and that's it. I know Watt's like the franchise, but the fact that he's been injury prone every year and he keeps getting hurt, it's... Texans got to go into a rebuild mode this offseason, if you ask me. I don't know. Let me know if you guys... I mean, I could maybe try... I don't know what the record's going to be like when it's all said and done, but, one thing I'm also trying to do on this channel and what I've done before is I've done rebuilds, not just with my favorite team, the Cowboys, but I've done rebuilds with, like, the Bengals and the Raiders from a couple of Maddens ago, the Lions, I think, also, trying to get them out of this. But I might do a rebuild with the Texans because I feel like that I'd be able to make some moves, better than Bill O'Brien, of course, and be able to, help get them back to being a team that wins the AFC South and being a contender. Because they got the quarterback. But the fact they traded away their best receiver, I mean, Will Fuller is not that bad, but he's not a game changer like Hopkins is. And I mean, Kiki QT is a good slot guy. But other than that, oh my goodness, Matthew Stafford, what the...
His receiver, that's Jones. Lions touchdown. Marvin Jones.
Did y'all see the
Lions are going to jump back in front.
Wow.
There's a sense of the dramatic here, don't they? Scoring this.
I got to show y'all this. Wow. I don't know if this is... Okay. See this guy right here, 92 is coming right at him. I mean, I jumped when I should have just let him walk into him. He jumps, he's taking himself out of the play. 52 right here, he's got him. Somehow Stafford shakes him off, and I can't get anybody in there. And then, of course, you got number 11 who's wide open in the back of the end zone. Oh, wow. Unbelievable. Oh, seriously, I mean, I know Stafford has some strength to him and he's a tough quarterback, but I don't think he's that strong in the legs to be able to break a sack like that. Because if you sack him right there, we force him to a field goal and they don't take his lead back. Then again, I've thrown 2 interceptions with Watson in this first half, which has been pretty bad, but now we're going to go in the half. Down by 3. I think they get the ball to start the second half, so...
Due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning.
Yeah, they get the ball, so... there's really nothing with the halftime show with Jonathan Coachman. That's another thing. I like Coachman's personality and stuff like that. I mean, I know him always from, like the WWE announcing and stuff, and he was a part of the broadcasting team in the original XFL and everything. But the halftime show, unless you're playing in the franchise mode, Coachman doesn't even talk about really the game. He just talks about like 5 seconds, what's the score, and that's it. He doesn't put up like a graphic with stats and stuff. At least with the season mode, if you're in franchise and you play the halftime show, he flips around the country. He goes around to like he pinpoints like different states where games are playing, and the marquee games and stuff like that. I will say, franchise is more diverse than that they actually have made a couple of attempts to, make it better. But overall, it's really still the same copy and paste when it comes to franchise mode in this game. And, I doubt EA Sports is really going to make any adjustments. There's some stuff that's better in it, but, I mean, the biggest part of franchise mode that I absolutely hate is that... Because I've watched, like, RBT's videos. He's a big Madden gamer. I'm not saying I'm trying to, like, emulate him or stuff like that, but some of the inspirations I get are from his channel. And he does, like, rebuilds and stuff sometimes and everything like that. And it always... And in this game, in whatever team you're controlling. In your second year, every team is over the cap. You can't make any moves. You can't make any moves. You can't do trades with them because every team is over the cap. And they can't make trades, they can cut people, but it's going to count as like a cap penalty and stuff like that. Oh, did we make the tackle short? Please tell me we did. All right, we did, so 4th and 1. So we got them off the field after they drove the ball down the field, and that's pretty well. Hopefully they don't fake it here because I am not ready if they do. Okay, they did. They're punting. I mean, they're up by 3, so I don't think they would fake a punt, but you never know in this game. I mean, we've seen Dallas do it several times this season now with Bones and there as their defensive coordinator, and he's helped out a little bit. But there's just special teams things that catch right there by 13. I don't know. I forget who that is. Oh, that's Brandon Cooks. Okay, I thought that was Cobb for a second. No, Cobb's is 18. No, Randall Cobb is 18. One time. Cowboy. I kind of wish that we still had Randall Cobb, but based on the fact that, you know, CeeDee Lamb is here and Michael Gallup actually emerged last season, although Gallup's had a down year, but I think part of that is due not only to CeeDee Lamb, but also the fact that, you know, we've been having a carousel of quarterbacks for essentially the last 3 consecutive weeks. Andy Dalton was the original backup. He got a concussion, then he got COVID, and then he came back last week, and we had to play Ben DiNucci. Then we had to play Garrett Gilbert, who we picked up off the streets. He keeps in with a nice dance. And, well, no, I made him dance. Okay, that was, okay. I think he's doing the Bee Gees or something, the Staying Alive dance. That's funny. But, yeah, I mean, Cobb had his moments last season. He was a good slot guy. I think he proved he was a better slot guy than Cole Beasley, I'll tell you all that much. A little bit of slant route cheese right there. That was an easy route for QT to run for the touchdown. QT's been our best receiver in this game so far. Deshaun Watson's got 2 passing touchdowns, and he got the lead back over those Lions.
14-10. 5 plays there on that drive. And the result, a Houston touchdown.
Lions 10.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away.
My kickoffs have been pretty short with Fairbairn, I guess is his name. I forget. I thought it was like Fairburton or Fairbairn, or I don't know. I remember when Randy Bullock was the kicker for the Texans. And I know a lot of Texan fans would hate me bringing up that guy again. He's not a good kicker. Although he's still in the league, he's kicking for the Bengals. Hopefully Joe Burrow gets healthy again. That was a gruesome injury because on the replay, when they showed in slow motion on TV, you could literally see his knee pop when he got hit. It's brutal to see, especially for a rookie. You know, first year in the league and you have a gruesome injury to start off your career. Although it makes it easy for my Cowboys because they got to go up to Cincinnati and play them in a couple of weeks. That'll be a homecoming for Andy Dalton. I got a feeling that, you know, hey, that's his former team, and he'll be wanting to give them a little something extra, so we'll see. Offense or defense? Oh, okay, so it's holding on them. Okay, I thought you said defense for a second. Man, that's really tough when you have a holding penalty, but you still lose yards on the original play, so therefore it drags you back even further. That's tough. Oh my goodness, really? Oh, that's Marvin Jones Jr. Okay, I forgot he was number 11. I thought he was number like 19 or something. No, that's Galladay. Guy on my fantasy team. I'm going to start him tomorrow, but I don't know. I actually got my first win in fantasy in like 5 weeks this past week because I've had so many guys on my team who have been lost for the season. I had Odell Beckham Jr. and he tore his ACL. He's out for the year. I have Raheem Mostert, the starting running back for the 49ers, but you know everybody and their mother has been hurt for them. Okay, he didn't catch it. I thought he caught that ball for a second. Drew Brees is now hurt, although Jared Goff actually played pretty well last week and the week before that. Might start Goff for the rest of the year. I don't know. And we give him another easy touchdown. All right. Well, they're matching they're matching the Texans. Well, they're matching us right now. So we gotta play smart with Deshaun Watson down the stretch of this game. Sure. Also playing this game, I have Duke Johnson on my team as well. I basically had to pick up running backs off the streets, and I made a trade for Giovanni Bernard, mainly because Joe Mixon's been hurt for several weeks, and looking to him to kind of be a main guy. Now, Mostert is slated to maybe possibly come back and play this week, but I don't really know if that's going to happen. If it does, that'd be awesome, but if it doesn't, then I'm just going to have to play Bernard again. Because I have Johnson from the Texans, and the best player on my team is Cooper Kupp from the Rams. Yeah, I had Julio Jones in the beginning of the season, but I traded him for Kupp and a decent tight end. Or I don't know, maybe a decent defense. Oh my goodness, really? I did it again? Oh, so cool. Oh, flag? Oh my goodness, defensive holding? Wow.
So they will tread backward on the holding penalty.
And I know they're going to get coached up and they'll get yelled at a little bit, but let's face it, it is hard not to do at the speed and pace that they play.
Wait, I thought
special teams penalty cost some yardage there.
Maybe it was against them. I don't know. Hold on a second, guys. I got to plug in my computer. It's going to die if I don't. So I don't. So I'm guessing they. So they called holding on the Lions, but
a gain of 3, second down.
I should have declined it.
From just shy of midfield, Stafford.
Okay, he's short. All right.
5 yards on the pick.
I really don't want them to get this. We got to get off the field.
The Lions on third.
We just gave them the ball back. A stupid interception. And they're gonna. Oh man. Well, it didn't open completely all the way. But the hole still opened up for Swift to run through.
Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
Oh boy. It's gonna be a tough one to win here.
On first down at Stafford.
Wow. Lag right there, but missed him.
That'll bring up second down. Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. To throw again. Stafford.
Wow, that was way incomplete. Terrible throw.
Kenny Galladay, the intended receiver.
All right, let's get off the field now, defense. We got to get off this field.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back.
Too far for a field goal, so.
To throw is
there we go. We sacked him. Nice job. Nice job, Adams. Now we're going to be able to get off the field. Nice. Yeah, sorry guys, I had to grab my computer charger because my computer, the screen goes dim when it needs to charge, and also there's this little battery icon in the right corner, and I didn't want my computer to die while I was doing this live stream because I like to have my computer open so I can look at the chat, so I can interact with people. So we got to be smart here with the football. We can't be turning it over again. Yeah, we really haven't run a lot with Watson. I'm going to run it with a little bit. I'm going to run with him a little bit on this drive. I have to run the ball a little bit more because realistically we're not in a hurry to score. 5 minutes to go, so I might try to be not like too conservative, but a little bit conservative, trying to run the ball. Johnson's been running okay. He has, I think, over 50 yards rushing in this game so far, so that's not bad. That's Stills.
From the gun, here's
On Stills, make that catch. There you go.
Hits his target, it's Kenny Stills.
Nice job.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Give him 17 on the pickup there, and the Texans also get a new set of downs.
Back angle right here. This is usually a play that works pretty well.
First down throw, Watson.
Especially if you got a speedy back. Just, you know, just a decent scat back, you know. Somebody who can get out in the open and catch and make something happen. Right there, Johnson did that.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know, this is where you need a quarterback.
Screen this whole game. Come on, get out there. Oh, man. Slow to react, and therefore they were able to tackle him before he could do anything. 40 got there before he could do anything.
What they had in mind there, that's going to go as a loss of 4. So they had the big loss on that first down pass play, and facing a second and long.
Dang it. It could have been a pick, too, if I wasn't more careful. Oh, man. Third down and 14.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is third and long.
Got it. Nice job, Fuller. Nice catch. Yeah, spin that ball on him. There you go.
From the 13 now, they work on
might try to get a little bit more conservative here and run it just to get the score. And maybe take some time off the clock.
And he'll get this one down to about the 10.
I didn't run behind the offensive lineman. I kind of let him run in front of me, and that might have been a bad decision. Okay, so we're already in field goal range, so at the very least I don't want to jeopardize giving us a chance to send this baby into overtime. But I still can be a little bit aggressive right here. Come on. Touchdown. There we go. Hopefully I didn't score too quickly, though, because the Lions get the ball right back. Well, they need a touchdown just to take the lead anyway, so.
Wow, I know it's a never say never situation. But to me,
so hopefully that'll be enough. I don't know. We'll see.
The score that puts them in front here late, but not. You got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so.
Oh, there we go. Now we got a decent kickoff from Care Bear. There we go. All right, 21-17. They got to go from the 25-yard line in a minute 57. They have all 3 timeouts left though, so we gotta put up or shut up on defense here, hoping for some big plays, maybe a sack or 2. Ooh, incomplete. That guy was wide open over the middle. I thought he was going to make that catch.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Back to throw.
Audible more of a cover 2 right here.
Jones has it over the middle.
He's short. I think he is. Yeah, he's short of the first down. All right, they burned their first timeout, so they got 2 left.
First of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before.
Well, at least for this first game of this live stream, it's entertaining. Come on.
Now Stafford.
Oh man, he caught that. I thought I could get in position to kick that. All right, well they converted on 3rd and inches, so.
It's another 10 yards on that one and another first down.
Here. There you go, make that tackle in little space. Come on. All right.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 4 yards. To the air again, Stafford.
Oh, incomplete. That was way in front of Amendola.
Danny Amendola, the man he was trying to get it to. And it's 2nd down.
No chance to catch up to that ball.
38 on 2nd and 10.
Oh man, I got pancaked. Oh, incomplete. Ball bounced around a little bit right there. I could have picked it off in the air. Come on, Robber. All right. Well, it's 4 down territory. They're going to go for it regardless, so.
They expected it and got there and popped it free.
Oh, almost picked it off, but we still got the deflection. That's good. Okay, so this is it for them. Let's go cover 2 man.
Especially late.
A lot of cohesiveness, a lot of communication, and some great athleticism.
No, I'm not going to audible or anything else. I'm going to go with this play.
Is sure to follow. They're going to have to name this one.
Oh, my goodness.
It's caught. Jones.
Marvin Jones with another big catch.
Inside the 15
1.
They keep the game alive, at least for the
Make the
moment.
tackle. There we go. All right.
That's complete to
I mean,
Swift
I'm
out of
okay
the
if they
backfield.
get spurts here and there, but
They use the second of their timeouts.
oh man.
As they get it with 26 seconds
Oh
to go
boy.
in the football game. Now it's Stafford. It's off to Swift.
Is he short? I think he's short.
Here at the 3.
Okay, so they have no more timeouts left. Oh, he's not short. Okay, it's first and goal. All right. Oh man, I don't know about the engage. No, we can't. No, we can't. We can't go to the engage. Cover 2 man. Cover 2 man. Audible. Audible. She was wide open. Oh. Oh boy, we let him just go right
there. People watching this one right here gave up because that score, they might want to try and rush back into this stadium.
Totally
What
collapsed
looks
on
like
the
is going to be the
drive.
game-deciding score. Although,
Thought I had him, guys.
So you can't count your chickens before they're
I'm
hatched.
go right down the field. I feel like I said I spent too much of this video beginning part of this game talking and everything. Well, let's go return middle. They're probably going to squib it. No, they're not. They're going to kick it regularly. Okay. All right, hoping for a decent return here to get to about the 30. So now we got 13 seconds left. We're just going to have to play for the field goal, I think, at this point because, oh, man. Okay, Fuller's got one-on-one on the corner route here. But we got to have it. There we go. We got it. Timeout. 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 There we go. Oh, man. That corner route cheese, though. That corner route cheese with Will Fuller. Oh, man. See, I don't want to go with the Hail Mary entirely yet. We could still, if we get into field goal range, we got a shot. Stills.
From the 50, it's Watson.
Stills.
Desperation throw deep downfield.
Oh, my God. Oh, man. Oh. Oh, man. Oh, that was a tough one to lose. Oh, my goodness. Whew. Oh, man. Oh, well. All right, well, let's move on to the next Thanksgiving Day game. Really the main one. Well, the one that I consider, at least. Where's Washington? There y'all are. All right. So, I don't know if the Cowboys are going to wear the whites tomorrow, but I might go with the color rush here. Yeah, let's go with the color rush. I want to go with the color rush. Last time they wore the color rush was 2015 on Thanksgiving, and it didn't go so well. That was one of the last games where we saw Tony Romo, and he came back after he missed most of that season, and then he was out again for the whole year. No question to come back from there. So it happens.
Today, from AT&T Stadium.
So here we are playing.
Arlington, Texas.
Well, the thing is, now that the Ravens-Steelers game has been canceled, to be honest, none of these two games with the Lions and the Cowboys hosting are going to be very, compelling, to be honest, because you've got a bunch of, bad teams playing and stuff like that. But you know what? Thanksgiving Day, I feel like, it can bring out the best in a team to say, hey, we're on the national stage, everybody's watching, it's almost like Monday Night Football. Let's go out here and let's try to play to our best, All right, so here we go. Got Andy Dalton at quarterback, and we got my guy Zeke. And there might be a lot of running with Zeke in this game. And I did check before the game started, and the depth chart has been adjusted to have Zach Martin out there at the right tackle and McGovern at right guard. The only question I have for Mike McCarthy with that move when they did it last week against Minnesota is why didn't we make that permanent sooner? Because in the game against the Seattle Seahawks, they kicked Martin out to the right tackle position, and they kept him there for the rest of the game when it was clear that Terrence Steele couldn't handle it. He was getting beat. And look, Terrence Steele played at Texas Tech, so I know about this guy. He wasn't even that good at Texas Tech, and I don't understand why they thought an undrafted rookie free agent was going to be a good candidate to play at right tackle when Lyle Collins went down. It's like they make these decisions, and then by the time they realize that it's a bad decision in the middle of the season, it's too late. Like last year, when we kept going with Brett Maher as our kicker, when clearly he was the most inconsistent kicker in the history of the National Football League. And you bring in Kai Forback, who for the last 3 games made every single field goal. But why didn't we do that in the middle of the season when it could have made a difference in so many games? Like the Patriots game last year. We lost that game 13 to 9. Brett, we have Kai Forback as the kicker. We kick probably one of those field. We make one of those field goals that Brett Maher missed, and we arguably win that game. It's like, Jerry, you can't be experimenting in the middle of the season if you want to really go for, that championship or be or get into the playoffs and be competitive. This is kind of like, forget about Super Bowl. Forget about the conference championship. We just got to find a way to get into the postseason because we haven't been there in 2 years. Like, we're not going to get there this year. Now, look, I don't want to hear... I would rather the Cowboys not win the NFC East this year and pack it in for next season. I mean, I felt like we were there 2 weeks ago. And now, all of a sudden, at 3-7, we're battling the Washington football team tomorrow on Thanksgiving with a chance to move into first place in the division. And believe me, that hopefully will put some motivation in their minds to go out there and do it. But in recent history, when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day, they either play really bad coming off of a short week, or they rise to the occasion and are able to get it done. Like last year on Thanksgiving, I could tell that they just completely were overmatched from the very beginning. Josh Allen looked like Joe Montana in that game. And I don't think Josh Allen's a bad quarterback. Don't get me wrong. He's not a bad quarterback by any stretch. But making him look like Joe Montana on a national stage too. And there's been so many games where, because the Cowboys and Lions always play on Thanksgiving Day, teams are up for this game because they get a chance to play them on Thanksgiving. They get a chance to play on Thanksgiving and really show up and really show the world that, hey, we deserve credit too. And we want to knock them off that pedestal of, the Cowboys with their shiny helmets and the star and Jerry World and everything like that. Teams get up to play the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day. And it doesn't matter if they're a division rival, if they're a team like the Bills or the Seahawks or anybody who's played them on Thanksgiving Day in the past. Or the screen pass off there to McKessick, but Aldon Smith made a good tackle right there. Aldon Smith will be a Cowboy in the future. I'm sure. They'll give him a contract this offseason, hopefully not something too hefty, so they can keep him around. Because he's been one of the best defenders he's played this year. We get a fumble? There we go. And look at that right there. He gets. Oh no, that's Tyron Crawford actually that recovered it, but I think it was actually Smith that caused the fumble.
That's a down and distance coaches always talk about trying to avoid.
Good job.
Isn't it? I mean, that's 3rd and long.
It'll be interesting going up against Alex Smith because the first time Dallas played Washington, it was Kyle Allen who was in there at quarterback, but it didn't matter because the defense was unmotivated, and it was back when they had mutiny with the coaches and everything like that. But you know what? I give credit to those players for stepping up and being men and going against the grain, because so many times Jerry just wants yes men, not only as his coach, but also for his players. And Zeke gets another touchdown, his second of the game in the first quarter. So Zeke's eating today. He's eating all the turkey and get him some gravy and cranberry sauce to go with that.
And I'm liking what
You know, I really hope tomorrow that Zeke just has a big game, because Washington's front is so scary good, and it showed last time they played in Washington. Dalton got the you-know-what beat out of him. He had to leave the game with that concussion, and he got COVID during the rehab. So
that's a smart man. You know what else he should do?
yeah, that was tough. But I give the Red Rifle some credit for last week, you know, because he didn't play like. I'm not saying that he played at the elite level that Dak is capable of playing at, but he played well enough than he had been over the last several weeks. Even in the Giants game when he came in after Dak got hurt. You know, Andy Dalton can play, and I've never questioned Andy Dalton's, you know, toughness or ability to play, because he's already proven it. He proved it for almost a decade in Cincinnati. And, you know, I know Cincinnati is like the wastelands of the NFL, but still, he turned the Cincinnati Bengals into a winning team. I think he caught that. Yeah, he did. Van Der Esch got there a little too late.
First catch for him on the afternoon, and it results in a first down. First and 10, and they've got 3 tight ends.
It'll be interesting going up against Alex Smith this time instead of Kyle Allen. But like I said, you know, we couldn't stop Antonio Gibson last time we played them. We couldn't stop the running. Lately we technically didn't slow down the running game too much with Dalvin Cook last week. But against the Steelers and against the Eagles, we really shut down Miles Sanders and James Conner respectively. The Steelers game really came down to Roethlisberger having to overcome that bop in the knee that he had at the end of the first half, and you know, maybe some questionable calls by the officials and some bad defense down the stretch that once again reared its ugly head, because the offense, you know, just couldn't do anything after that CeeDee Lamb touchdown. Tony Pollard had some burst, and he had a big, long touchdown run against Minnesota, and that was great to see him break through. Lord knows, I think Tony Pollard is playing better than Zeke in certain ways right now. I mean, Zeke used to be a guy that actually had speed and could, you know, run like a deer, but I'm not saying Zeke doesn't have speed anymore, that he can't run, but he's gotten a little bit bigger, so he's kind of more of a thumper. But he's still got those great hands, and that's one of the things I've always loved about Zeke. I think he's one of the best receiving backs in the league. He's shown it time and time again since he came in as a rookie. He's got great hands. And, you know, like I was telling one of my coworkers this week, you know, when I was watching the game, he proved it time and time again at Ohio State. He can catch the ball, and he can jump high in the air because he was a hurdler, and he was a hurdler in high school, so, yeah. I mean, Zeke is a competitor. I'm never, no one should ever be calling Zeke, you know, soft or, you know, and there's a reason that he wants to, you know, tap himself out of the game. It's, you know, he wants to, you know, he wants to keep himself fresh for, you know, the big plays that he needs to make in there as the main running back. So that's why he's okay with having Tony Pollard be the lightning to his team. I mean, hopefully, you know, as the season goes on, that actually proves to be, hopefully that proves to be actually a pretty decent, like, running back deal, because Dallas really hasn't had something like that since the days of Marion Barber and Felix Jones, and I remember Jashard Choice was there, and that was a missed field goal by, I think, Hopkins right there. He missed that field goal easily. So we're up 14-0. Really haven't had to pass a lot with Dalton, because fortunately Zeke has been able to run up the middle pretty easily in this game.
They can really put him in command before intermission.
He run for about 5 yards right there, 68 yards, 2 touchdowns.
But it's the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense.
CD.
But don't
Here we go.
Don't start looking at the clock.
Ah! I didn't want to step out of bounds. I wanted to juke inside and juke those guys out of their shoes, but I was late with the animation right there.
First and 10 at the 40. First and 10.
Gallup. There we go. Get Gallup involved a little bit. Spread the ball around. 4 for 4, 61 yards. Not bad for Dalton. Oh, we were mainly held because on the very next play we got that rushing touchdown after the fumble recoveries. So that helped.
Now Dalton with a first
I'm more careful than I was in the Texans-Lions game. I threw 3 interceptions in that game, and that pretty much cost us the game. So I'm going to be more conservative here with Dalton.
Another nice gain, 13 yards at
Exactly, but his overall, of course, is not nearly as good as Dak. So therefore, you kind of mixed bag of what you get. It'd be really nice for Dallas to win tomorrow on Thanksgiving.
And he's a guy that has some height
2020's
to him.
been
So when you don't
tough
have to
year,
drop
and
the shoulder or create
holidays,
contact or trash,
if I can't be with my family, at least the Dallas Cowboys can make me, feel good and get a win on Thanksgiving for me and the rest of the fans.
Coming up at halftime,
First and goal, got the ball at the 1 yard line, just hit the 2-minute warning. Zeke's got 2 touchdowns. Can we make it 3? Almost. He ran right into a brick wall right there. I don't have to be too quick with this because I don't want to leave Washington with a whole lot of time to drive down the field and do something of their own. Alright, let's go with a pass here. It's got 2nd and goal. We got Cooper on the slant route, but I'm going to throw it to Gallup for the touchdown. Good route right there by Michael Gallup. Oh. Ooh, maybe his feet weren't down. Let's see here, guys. It's hard to tell because video game animations never like real life.
This is all about the defense.
I don't know. He might not have gotten both feet in.
Do they blitz a little bit more? Do they play more zone coverage? Right now,
just give it to him. Come on, refs.
Because they're hitting them in every direction.
Okay, so they did rule it was catch.
Lining up for the point after.
I don't know. He might have not had both feet in, but we'll take it. And Zerline makes the field goal. Dallas, we are up 21-0 over the Washington football team. Seriously, I'm getting tired of saying that. Like, I saw a post that the Washington football team is going to keep that name. If they're serious about doing that, they're just absolutely lazy. It proves that Daniel Snyder is the laziest owner in the history of the NFL. And I understand why they had to change it to football team because they were going to lose sponsor for their stadium and all this revenue and stuff like that unless they change it. But, you know, give yourselves a nickname. Give yourselves a name. I'm a Washington football team fan. That is just deflating to say as an NFL person. Come on. Give yourselves a name. I mean, seriously, I might as well call them the Washington no-names. Like Mark Holmes did on his channel for the first game we played against these guys, although it wasn't very funny considering they whipped us 26-3. I mean, it's funny when we're beating them, but not when we're losing to them. I mean, seriously, we got beat by a team with no name. We can't let this happen again on Thanksgiving. I mean, not on a holiday, not at AT&T Stadium, in front of the families and everybody that's paid to come into a game during a COVID world, and people just trying to get out of the house and trying to enjoy turkey. I'd rather not throw up my turkey and stuffing from watching the Cowboys play tomorrow and not playing up to what I think is their standard of being a team that is competitive now and that can at least, and that's proven they're at least capable of winning a game. Because seriously, guys, I thought for about the last 2 weeks that they were going to go finish 2-14, and I'm thinking like, well, top 5 draft pick, Micah Parsons, Penny Sewell, Patrick Surtain II, or even heck, tank for Trevor Lawrence. But that's not going to happen. If Dallas wins tomorrow and beats Washington and is for the first place in the NFC East, then I think the whole team tanking will die, which is a bit unfortunate because this team makes the playoffs, guys. They're going to have a home game, and they're going to draw somebody like Tampa Bay with Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and the Saints. Carolina, they're going to draw a team that is just flat out better than them. And they're going to get blown out at home. And then Jerry Jones is going to have to look and say, oh, whatever. But then again, you know, there's going to be plenty of excuses till the cows come home. You know, Dak was injured. Our offensive line has been injured. And then it's like, what are you going to do to make them actually a competitive team just beyond that? It's like, we'll evaluate that in the season. It's like, no, you should have forced the money over to Dak like an off season ago. Like, seriously, guys, if Jerry Jones does not pay Dak this offseason because his value is shown. Now, I know last week, you know, he might be able to say, oh, well, Andy Dalton was at least able to lose to 1 win. Or, you know, the whole mantra, because when Romo went down in 2015, the Dallas Cowboys were only able to win one more game the rest of the season while he was out, and that was when Matt Castle beat the Washington then Redskins on Monday Night Football. They still won the division even though they lost that game, which I always found very crazy. Then again, I knew that they were going to lose in the playoffs because the first opponent was Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. And this is like the 2014-2015 Packers. This is when they were good. With McCarthy still. Almost got to the Super Bowl in 2014 if they didn't blow that lead in Seattle. Did we get a pick? All right. Diving interception by Xavier Woods right there. Nice job, man. All right. Got our first turnover. Well, not our first turnover. We got that fumble recovery earlier. We got a touchdown. I forgot about that play.
Looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
Kind of, you know, just rough.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24.
Yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6.
They go to Elliott again.
Elliott. All right, well, bumped ahead for 2 yards. Look at the trail here. Keep him honest a little bit. Come on, Lamb. Catch that. There we go. Juke inside. Oh, right out of their shoes. That's the move I was looking for. Go, CD. All the way down the sideline to the 24-yard line. Nice grab. Nice run. That catch CD had last week was unbelievable. Great diving catch, and definitely something that should be hung in the Laverne. And the Dallas Cowboys writers figured that out, and it definitely stuck. So definitely a great play. Well, Washington now 21-0. Hopefully, I see some of the same tomorrow. I don't care how much we win by. It'd just be nice for them to win on Thanksgiving to make the turkey and the stuffing and maybe the mashed potatoes taste a little bit better.
Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
I know I mentioned I'm not spending Thanksgiving with my family, but tomorrow we're going to get catering likely from one of the local places. We got it last year. The good thing about it is that they catered it to us in, like, you know, boxes and bins and stuff like that, so it's not a deal where, like, somebody can just, you know, go to, like, a buffet and take, like, all the turkey, or somebody just takes all the stuffing and extra and stuff like that, like they bring it to their families and stuff. So you know, so there'll be, you know, catered food for us and everything, and stations always do that on the holidays. Like it'll be like turkey and dressing and stuffing from one of the best places in Amarillo, a good steak place and stuff. So yeah, it'll be nice. So I might not be spending Thanksgiving with my family, which means I can't eat my mom's great and tasty pecan pie. We'll probably have pecan pie out there, but it's going to be like locked up in those containers, and probably not going to taste as good. But I still ate a couple slices of it last year. And if it's the same pie that I remember, then I'll still probably enjoy it. Yeah, there's nowhere to go, so I threw it away. Although that was pretty stupid because it was 3rd and goal, but we're not trying to score. But getting touchdown in every possession is super key right now. Just trying to hang on for this win.
And Zerline's kick is good. And the route is on. It's 24.
The route is definitely on.
A good drive gets them inside
24-0. Speaking of routes, Texas Tech basketball, the men's team, well, not just the men's team, but the men's and women's teams, they played their first games of the season today. Women's played at 1 o'clock. Men's played at 6. Just got done watching some of the highlights for that before I started this live stream. And Tech men's basketball, it's great to see them back, because when the roof caved in about sports being put on hold, they were on their way to the Big 12 tournament, and they were all ready to play. They took the court for warm-ups, and then the announcement came they were going to cancel the rest of the tournament, and then the next day they canceled they canceled the rest of the tournament, then they canceled the entire tournament altogether. So, you know, no team truly got to finish their season last year if they were in the tournament, which was a bit of a shame. But you know, basketball was back today, and you know, they have fans in the stands, at at least Texas Tech's United Supermarkets Arena. They had fans in the stands. Definitely limited the capacity, but still nice to see fans in the stands cheering for them. They've done the same with football this year. They've allowed fans in the stands just operate at 25% capacity, maybe less than that. I think for the basketball arena, they made the decision to go at only 15%, and that's fine. Some fans are better than no fans in the stands, if you ask me, when it comes to any sport. Now, what's the flag for? Do we get called for holding back there? Ah, man. Well, that's like our first penalty of this whole game, so I'm not going to be too picky about that.
Accepted as it moves the offense backwards. The holding penalty negates a good return as they'll start just past the 20.
Come on, guys. There we go.
Tackle made by Thomas Davis.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that
I just kind of want to get to the end of the third
over 100
quarter
yards
here.
now for the day.
At the 27-yard line.
All right. Well, it's been a pretty easy game in this one. It's been a lot easier than the first game. That was up 24-0 over the Washington football team. First place in the NFC East is in our back pocket. Not like that.
Again, it's Elliott. He'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming out.
With Andy. Slide. I wanted to slide, but he didn't go to the animation in time. Oh well. I know Skip and Shannon always talk about how Andy Dalton doesn't have any scrambling ability. I've seen him scramble with Cincinnati, and I've seen him scramble in Dallas just a bit. He's not like a statue back there. If he needs to make, a move outside of the pocket or do something extra, he can. He's not just a stand-up, pocket guy. And then again, Dalton's got a couple of Pro Bowls to his name, and taking the Bengals to the playoffs several times. So, and that's what I loved when we got Andy Dalton, because I always felt that at some point Dak was going to get hurt, and Jerry Jones didn't want to be stuck in another situation like when Romo went down, and we don't have a good backup quarterback. Because when Romo went down, we weren't prepared for life without him for the rest of that season. Brandon Weeden. I still have nightmares of that guy trying to play quarterback in 2015. He's just not a good quarterback. There's a reason that the Browns, even the Browns let him go. Or the Browns were willing to let him be a free agent so somebody else could pick him up. And I knew when we signed him that we were trying to maybe get a better backup quarterback just in case, because also, like the previous year in 2013, Romo injured his back, and in the game against the Redskins, then called the Redskins, and then we had to go into the Eagles game with Kyle Orton at quarterback. He was a decent quarterback, but we let him walk, and we just had to because of, I guess, money and whatnot. And, we got Brandon Weeden instead. It's like Chase Young's hurt. That's not good.
And now time will be called here as Washington has.
So then, we get to 2015. Romo goes down in week 2 against the Eagles. And then we just got Weeden and no other, backups possible at that point. Played, 2 different backup quarterbacks during that stretch. We played, we started off with Weeden, then we played Castle, then we benched Castle in favor of Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore got to start the last 3 games of that season. Showed why he's a backup, and now he's the offensive coordinator of the Cowboys. I think Kellen Moore actually called a good game last week, but I think it might be a once in a blue moon thing. I think Mike McCarthy needs to be calling the offensive plays because McCarthy's an offensive-oriented guy. He's a West Coast guy. He's one of the disciples of the great lineage of Bill Walsh. Shanahan and John Gruden and all those guys. McCarthy's a West Coast guy. Just kind of wearing down Washington here down the stretch.
Hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
There we go. Zeke's really hot right now.
he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further.
Big slant here.
One man in the
goal. I don't
backfield.
want
That's
to
Elliott
get
on
any
second
points
and
here.
goal.
To second and goal.
See if we can get Cooper on the
And
slant.
out of the air.
Cooper! There we go.
Will be caught.
Fits it right in there for the easy touchdown.
It's another touchdown.
I think that's Dalton's
Is it okay
third
if I break
touchdown
one of our
pass.
rules, partner, which is to
Maybe a
never
second,
call
I can't
a game
remember.
Over until it's over, because this certainly feels like it's over after that drive.
Yeah, that was spirit.
Tell you what, the fans are going to head home happy to their
Just
turkey
kinda
after
felt
this.
the air go out of the balloon.
Yeah, they were fighting so hard to stay in there, and they knew they had to stop them on that drive. But when they were unable to, I think you're exactly right. You could see them sag on their sideline, and I think this one might just be over.
Takes this about 5 yards deep. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25.
25-yard
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points.
Hopefully,
you feel a little bit
I'm
better
trying to
about
shut him out
yourself
here if I
as you
can.
move on to the next one.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33.
Almost like a 2-minute warning.
Play action. It's Smith. Slings this deep from McLaurin. Oh,
Picked
and a
off.
bad throw there.
Cheeto.
It's intercepted. Cheetah Awuzie with a pick.
Nice
Just
job.
2 minutes remaining.
No chance
here in
for
the
them to get any
fourth quarter
points
of what
now.
has been a
Thank you, Alex
one-sided
Smith.
affair. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Now we're just going to wind the clock down and get out of here with the win on Thanksgiving Day.
36-yard line.
The 36-yard line. A 3-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 7.
55, Mike, 55. It's been a long day for you.
You know, one of the things I keep seeing in like I looked at the comments of like a post that Fox Sports did, highlighting some like the best Cowboy moments on Thanksgiving. Well, not the best, but the most memorable, including like the Leon Lett thing that happened with Miami in '93. You know, a lot of people complain about that they want to get new teams in there. Now, the thing is, with the primetime game, it's always different teams. Although it seems like lately the Steelers and the Ravens always seem to kind of play on Thanksgiving night for the NBC game that like Al Michaels and Chris Collins would do. You know, the Sunday Night Football like Thanksgiving special edition or whatnot. But, you know, everybody complains about get some new teams in there. You know, we're tired of seeing Dallas and Detroit always play. But, you know, it stems back to, you know, the history of Thanksgiving when it all first started with the NFL. You know, the Detroit Lions were the first team to say that they want to play on Thanksgiving Day, and then it kind of started a trend with, you know, Tex Schramm of the Cowboys saying that, you know, we'll be like Detroit, yeah, we'll take it, and we'll take it every Thanksgiving. And, you know, once again, you know,
Possession is 9/10 of the law.
You know, the Cowboys being the Cowboys and being America's team, and Tex Schramm being the general manager owner that he is, was trying to look for that you know, exposure for his team as well. You know, the Lions did the same thing; they were the pioneers in that, and the Cowboys followed suit. And then, you know, they only had. And then for years, like in the 90s and stuff, they were the only two, like, you know, teams to play on Thanksgiving. And it's going to be similar tomorrow. It's going to be no primetime game. But the primetime game is always different. I mean, during the primetime games, I've seen, like, anybody from the Jets and the Patriots play with Mark Sanchez's butt fumble. Seattle and San Francisco played in a game that actually was like a battle for, like, first place with some headway in the division or something like that. Which is essentially what the Washington-Dallas game is tomorrow.
Impressive victory.
And, you know. But we get the win, 31-0 over the Washington football team. Zeke, I think, had like 3 touchdowns in this game. No, he only had 2. Dalton threw a couple of good touchdowns, no turnovers. We actually got an interception. I think we got 2 interceptions. And we got a fumble recovery, which led to an easy Zeke touchdown.
So that'll do it for us, for Charles Davis.
I doubt that this is going to be what we're going to see tomorrow from my Cowboys, but, you know, it's nice to hopefully have this be a preview and it will at least play how I want it to play out tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow, guys. But, yeah. All right, well, I'm going to kind of start to wind up this live stream. Not a very particularly long one tonight. I didn't expect it to be that long because I was only going to play the 2 Thanksgiving Day games. When I woke up this morning, I was actually planning to play all 3 of them as a part of the stream, but then I saw that Ravens-Steelers was postponed until Saturday, so unfortunately that's the best I could do. So anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this live stream. Don't really know what my next video is going to be. This is actually something I kind of just decided to do really myself. I wasn't planning on doing this like a couple days ago, but I said, today, you know what, let me just do a quick little live stream. You know, like I said, today was another one of my days off. I really haven't had much going on right now. It's been kind of a boring day, really, because, you know, everybody's getting ready for Thanksgiving. I drove by to get some food from Torchy's Tacos here, a good taco place, and there's a supermarket that's in the same area that it is, and it was packed. It was packed. Even during a pandemic, people are going out and they're buying stuff for Thanksgiving. I mean, listen, let me just kind of I'm going to get on a little bit of soapbox here, but let me just say this. This Thanksgiving, more than ever, is going to be different for all of us. You know, for some people who unfortunately have had loved ones struck down by this virus, you know, this could be like one of the last Thanksgivings that you could get a chance to see them. This is also like this Thanksgiving more than ever, especially if you can spend it with your family. You know, when you go home, like most of y'all will, but I unfortunately won't be able to, and see your family, you know, just tell them how much you love them. Hug them, kiss them, you know, don't take this for granted, because after we get out of this pandemic, I'm not going to take anything for granted ever again. I'm not going to take being able to walk outside without a mask on. I'm not going to take for granted being able to watch my sports teams in person and have there be crowds and have there be shows and have there be, you know, events that happen in the community that I love to film so much, but now it's been limited based on the way that things have been, you know. So, you know, and more importantly, I think during this Thanksgiving holiday, if you can be with your family, spend as much time with them as you can before you have to go. Like when I go home in December, it's actually good because flying was going to take almost 2 days, and my parents were actually going to have to drive to Austin, Texas to pick me up because I wasn't going to be able to fly into San Antonio. I was going to have to fly into Austin. Then they would come get me. So me driving home actually a little bit earlier than I anticipated is going to give me more time with them anyway. So, you know, that feels very good that I'm going to get a chance to spend more time with them than I originally thought I was going to. Not only that, but also just get a chance to, you know, just see them, spend time with them, because I miss my family. I haven't seen my parents since June, and you know, it's been, you know, it's going to be 6 months, half a year since I've seen them when I see them again. So I'm looking forward to it. But you know, guys, I mean, yeah, I might be working tomorrow, but you know what? If you work in news, and let me tell you one thing about working news on a holiday. One of the best things about it, holiday pay. Yes, you get paid extra for working on holiday. Like last year when I worked on both Thanksgiving, Christmas, and like Black Friday and New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, all station designated holidays, whew, those paychecks were looking good. Boy, that money was looking good. It definitely helped out. It definitely helped out a lot. But anyway, guys, so happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully all of y'all enjoy Thanksgiving with your family tomorrow. What's your favorite Thanksgiving side dish? Maybe go to the comments below. Say what your favorite Thanksgiving side dish is. Do you guys like pumpkin or pecan pie? Or do you like another pie, like apple or blueberry or cherry or raspberry, or maybe a chocolate pie, like mousse pie or something like that? Because it seems like on Thanksgiving, the pies are always something that, you know, really kind of comes about. You know, do you call it stuffing or dressing? Because our main primetime anchor posted this debate on her Facebook and everything, and everybody was commenting different things like stuffing, dressing. I've always called it stuffing. You know, dressing to me is like ranch or blue cheese. It's dressing that you would put on a salad. You know, stuffing is like breadcrumbs and, you know, the capers and, you know, onions and stuff like that. You know, different people have different stuffings this way. Like homemade people do different stuffings. Like I've seen like mushroom and bacon stuffing, and it's like, wow, that's a little bit too much for me. I'm not a big mushroom guy, but one time I did see that kind of stuffing. I was like, I might want to stay away from that. But honestly, when it comes to turkey, what I actually like to do is I like to put some cranberry sauce on it and take a bite of that. Sometimes I like to put a little bit of gravy on it, but if I get any gravy on my turkey, I like it to be sort of a lighter gravy, like a gravy that's not too thick and not too heavy, so I don't feel like I'm eating like a big thick puddle of like pudding or sauce or something. Well, it is sauce, but just so it's not too thick. Man, I'm talking so much about like Thanksgiving dishes, and hopefully like they come through on the promise and they serve us food tomorrow at the station. So I'm looking forward to that, eating some turkey and working, but also having some fun. Because one of the things I know about working Thanksgiving on the holidays and working Thanksgiving and Christmas last year like I did, I was prepared to go to work and do my job, but I was also prepared to have fun. And this is the kind of holiday where, our news director and everybody from management encourages, do the lighter side of news, do human interest pieces, do fun stuff, have some fun. It's the holidays, it's Thanksgiving, holidays, even in the workplace, if you're still there, I feel like it always puts everybody in a joking mood. It always puts everybody in a jovial mood. Everybody likes to come in and say to each other the same thing, Happy Thanksgiving or Merry Christmas, and just say, hey guys, what's up, Yeah, so anyway. So I'm going to wrap up this live stream. Hopefully the 2 NFL games tomorrow, even though they're, really everybody's panning it because it's like, oh, these are 2 terrible teams that we got to watch on Thanksgiving. I'll tell you what, love them or hate them, people are going to be watching that Washington and Dallas game. I know even the haters are going to be watching it too because everybody wants to see Dallas fail. So I'll leave y'all with this. Prediction for tomorrow's game: Dallas wins by 1 point. That's it. They win by 1 point. And maybe I think Zeke will have a somewhat decent game because he kind of got some of his confidence back last week. Hopefully CeeDee Lamb has another good performance as well. But the offensive line got to protect better than they did the first time. But I think they will for one reason. Zach Martin is in at right tackle, and it's not Terrence Steele. And Connor McGovern, whoo, boy, I was high on that guy when we drafted him. Unfortunately, he's just been injured. But you know what? He proved himself against Minnesota last week. He's a big guy. I think next year, you consider putting McGovern at left guard and just kicking Connor Williams back to the bench where he was supposed to be when we had Xavier Su'a-Filo. Like our run to the 2018 playoffs and in the playoffs against Seattle, it wasn't Connor Williams starting. It was Xavier Su'a-Filo. And we let him go. And I was disappointed in that because Connor Williams, I think to me, he's a bust. He's a draft bust. He just hasn't played to his expectations. And then, next year, if, Tyron Smith, comes back, maybe. Some part of me thinks that Tyron Smith's going to retire this year. And if he doesn't retire at the end of this season, maybe next year. Lyle Collins is going to come back, but you have to consider he might be getting a little bit long of the tooth, and he's got injuries of his own. You put Zach Martin back at right guard where he's supposed to be. At center, maybe you put Biotish back in there, but you know what? Looney's played better than Biotish, and he's also a veteran. You keep Looney in there, and he was the projected starter going into this season too. So it's upsetting that Travis Frederick retired, but I think Biotish has got a good future. And then, of course, at left tackle, you got Tyron Smith. Cameron Fleming actually played pretty well against Minnesota, in my opinion, for the most part. I think he allowed maybe 1 pressure, 1 sack, but anyway, the offensive line played a lot better against Minnesota, and I think that was the biggest difference in that game. It allowed Dallas to control the game and the line of scrimmage up front. It gave them control up front so they could actually run the ball, so they could have a decent running game. And the offensive line in the NFL, if your offensive line can take control of any game and set the tone, set up the tempo, you got a good chance to win. So we'll see if they do the same thing tomorrow, but I'm not the coach. I'm not McCarthy. I'm just a guy who's a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan who just one day wants to see them win another Super Bowl. That's it. Not coming this year, but maybe next year or the year after that. We'll see. All right, guys, so I'm going to wrap up this live stream. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hopefully you enjoy the day tomorrow with your family, your loved ones. If you're working like I am, hopefully, maybe, you get a chance to, tell your coworkers how you feel, get a chance to hang out with them a little bit, and just enjoy the day too. It's going to be a holiday, and everybody's going to be in a jovial mood. So enjoy it tomorrow, Thanksgiving Day. Eat some turkey, but be safe too, guys. Seriously, be careful out there. If you still go out in public, still wear your mask. Keep washing your hands. We're going to get through this. I promise you when we get to 2021, I think things are going to start to turn around. It needs to, because we can't afford to go through another year like we did in 2020, because we want more people to lose their jobs and we want everybody to get in a state of depression and all this, which I'm not saying I'm in it, but I know people that this COVID pandemic infected them a lot. It infected one of my coworkers to the point where she just didn't want to work here anymore. And it really hurt her. But there's other things, and I don't want to talk about her because that's a whole other story that probably doesn't deserve to be told on live stream. So anyway, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Enjoy the day. It's your boy Malin. Thank you for checking out the stream tonight, and y'all have a good one. Happy Thanksgiving.